the things, I remember noticing this years ago, and I didn't know why it was happening. And over time, I sort of got to learn why things happen in the way that they do. So, do you remember how unbelievably quiet and calm it was on Sunday and Sunday evening? There wasn't even a dog barking or a bird singing, nothing. Yeah? If we listen to nature, nature will tell us exactly what to do. So I know we're lucky and we have, Irish Weather Online, and we have Google, and we have the news, and we have, who's that centre in Miami? International Hurricane Centre, or whatever it's called. Yeah. So even without all of that, if we were to listen to nature on Sunday, we would have realized there's something up here. The whole thing has gone quiet. And we have exactly the same senses as the rest of the birds and animals do. But a lot of the time we tune that out, or there's so much other noise going on that we don't let ourselves be aware of that. So you'll notice that, and I remember noticing, I grew up quite close to the sea, quite close to the ocean. So whenever we would see the seagulls coming inland, we knew that there was a storm out at sea and likely a storm on the way. And it's advice I hear myself saying all the time, of, when the shit hits the fan, when a crisis happens, to go to ground. And I mean that in a grounding sense, a meditation sense, but the essence of it is the same. When we go to ground, we're safe and we're protected. So if we only listen to nature, nature would have said, you need to go to ground, you need to go home and stay home. You need to go where it's safe and stay there until the storm blows over. Sometimes in how we handle crisis, we look at what everybody else is doing. I definitely did this on Monday. Like, what is everybody else doing? Are other people going to work? Or are people staying at home? And then I had to tune inside. I was like, no, hang on a second, Emer. What actually do you need to do here? Because Monday morning was really calm. It was sunny. There was rainbows. You would not have had any indication if you were looking at that there was a major storm on the way. But I sat for a little while and I was just thinking, if the prediction is true and the storm is to hit in the afternoon, it's not a good idea to be on the road or be anywhere traveling, either in the city or on the way back from the city. So I decided, okay, even if it's like a non-storm, like we've had those warnings in the past, major storm is happening, and it's barely enough to knock over your garden furniture. But in this instance, it just felt like, no, I need to listen to this and just go to ground. And I'm really glad that I did. The energy of the day on Monday felt so heavy. It felt really, really draining and really, really tiring. I don't know if anybody else felt it in that way. There was so much energy moving that we were just exhausted. You couldn't stay awake in it. Every time I tried to read, and no matter how interested in it I was, I'd find myself just kind of drifting off. And I wasn't just drifting off for a 10-minute or 20-minute snooze. It was out cold for 2 hours. And then I kind of wake up and be really groggy, go downstairs, still see if we have electricity. Yay, we have electricity, I can take a shower. The whole day just felt like just being present. We couldn't be anywhere else. And when I think about any other kind of crisis that happens for us, and we've all been there at a certain point, when some crisis happens, something out of your ordinary life happens, what do we do? What has been your automatic reaction? Does it feel like everything falls apart? Does it feel like everything goes numb? Does it feel like going into shock? What do you recognize of your automatic reaction in a crisis? My automatic reaction is I go calm, but I'm not able to feel anything. My body goes straight up to my head. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Find out all the information. Let's make an informed decision. Yeah. When I came into when I caught myself in that on Monday, I was reading all the news reports. I don't know how many weather reports I was looking at of just the path of the storm and what way it was going to go and how could I read that for work and blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't make a clear decision. When I was looking at what everybody else was doing, I couldn't quite make a clear decision. And this was before 9 a.m. When I caught myself in that automatic mode and I said, no, Emer, you have better ways to do this now. Let yourself just feel into what's going on and what's the right thing to do. And immediately the feeling was, don't go anywhere near the city today. Stay home. You have everything that you need. Everything will be fine. And once I found that place, it was automatic. I didn't question the decision after that to cancel appointments, cancel class. It just felt absolutely right. But I caught myself in that automatic mode first of all, which felt very calm but very, very numb. So can we recognize what we each do in crisis? A lot of the time we will plug out in some way. We will disconnect or disengage in some kind of way. When we fear being overwhelmed, when we fear not being able to handle something, we'll want to drown that out. So sometimes we will physically take ourselves away from something. We'll physically run away. Other times we will energetically jump out of our body. We'll energetically escape. Sometimes we attempt to plug out or disengage and we'll run away. Other times we'll energetically run away. If we don't feel able to do either of those, we might try and drown out what we're feeling. Yeah, we'll reach for alcohol, we'll reach for drugs, or we'll go asleep. We have so many different ways of plugging out when we feel we can't handle something. Can't handle how we are, or we can't handle what's happening. So on an inner level, that will feel very true. But very often that reaction that we're in is a very young part of us that definitely can't handle whatever big is happening. But somewhere in the midst of that, we can have forgotten to recognize that we're actually all grown up now. And we're much better able to handle whatever crisis is going on than when we were small. So when a crisis happens, I tend to remind myself to go back to the basics. I go back to everything just being simple. When I don't know what else to do, I just go back to the basics of eating, good food, getting enough rest, and a little bit of time to myself.